ala e, kala I kahikina, I kamawana, ho honu. Wonderful, good job.
My name is Jesse Ashlock, and I'm the U.S. Editor-in-Chief of Condé Nast Traveler. I'm lucky enough to get to travel to some of the best places in the world for a living. For the last year, though, I haven't been traveling much at all. Now, as I venture out again, I'm thinking more than ever about how I can give something back to the places that give so much to me. That's the essence of Hawaii's Malama initiative, which I've come here to experience. Malama means to take care of the land, of people, of communities. Malama is new to me, and yet it feels instantly familiar. So I'm headed out to discover what it actually means to do in practice. One thing that I've been learning is that stewardship of the land is part of the intrinsic culture of Hawaii. And that's the reason that everybody's got stories about the land. And by telling these stories, they teach one another how to take care of the land and to take care of one another. This is Thelma Kehaulani Cam. She is the Director of Cultural Services for the Marriott Waikiki Collection. She's gonna guide me through a morning ceremony on the water.
So Waikiki is a very special place. It's a wahipana. Prior to the kingdom, chiefs reigned the islands. And they knew that if you go into the ocean, that you would be able to bathe yourself and let go of all of your trials and your worries.
So you're gonna help me get rid of those?
Yes, I am, but actually you're gonna be helping yourself because as you submerge yourself, you are actually being reborn. I'd like you to reflect on your grandparents, your great-grandparents, and those that went before you. They were able to bring their strength to the table and they have passed it on for generations, so that allows you to stand here today with me. You are actually commingling, or you're connecting, with so many generations of peoples that understood the importance of respecting nature. And from that, they knew that nature would give them life.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I'll come back, bring my family.
Please do.
Aloha.
I look forward to meeting them.
After a quick refresh at the hotel, I head over to the Bishop Museum to meet Marcus Hanalei Marzan, a curator at the museum and a talented fiber artist in his own right.
I've been working here for about 19 years now, engaging with the community. The Bishop Museum was established in 1889 by Charles Reed Bishop, the husband of Princess Bernice Pauahi Bishop, the great-granddaughter of King Kamehameha I. So the first floor honors all of the ocean stories and ocean themes, the migrations of the first peoples and the animals and plants and gods and ancestors. The second floor is land, agriculture, sports and entertainment. And then the third floor is the sky.
Well, let's go see the piece that you have a connection with.
This net in particular is one of the finest examples of our Hawaiian design. There's a series of individual knots that make up each of those individual pieces, and it's one long continuous string. Our ancestors were innovative enough, creative enough to create something so intricate and so beautiful, but also very functional. There's a small handful of us that are trying to bring this art form back to life. A lot of the younger generations are trying to go back to the land, reconnect with the environment, and learn how our ancestors lived. This was created by a local Native Hawaiian artist and educator. Her name is Meleana Aluli Meyer. That which is above will come down. All those things that are below will rise up. The islands will come together and stand firm.
Can you share some of your work with me?
I'd love to.
Okay, let's take a look.
Go outside.
So these are your pieces.
These are a couple of my works, yes. When we create, examples like this, we honor our ancestors. But also allows us to see how we can connect and tell its story in a different way. This piece actually was something that I created during COVID. This was my physical prayer for health and wellness for the community of Hawaii. So there's 2020 knots honoring the year 2020, but in every knot I imbued traditional prayers and intentions for health and wellness. So that we preserve that memory. That memory will exist in this piece forever.
Now I'm getting a chance to do something truly special. I'm going for a private tour of Iolani Palace, the magnificent structure built by the last king of Hawaii, King Kalakaua, in 1882. Aloha.
Aloha, Velina. Welcome to Iolani Palace.
Thank you. What part of the palace are we in right now?
We are in the Grand Hall. This is where Kalakaua and his family and his staff would have welcomed visitors. Kalakaua was really big on networking.
Uh-huh.
It was really important for him to make connections between visitors and local people who were in the same professions, businesses, or industries. This is where balls were held. This is where Kalakaua would meet new arrivals.
Uh-huh.
Liliuokalani was Kalakaua's sister and successor, our last queen. The peacock gown, this is a gown she had made to wear to Queen Victoria's Golden Jubilee in London.
It was completed in 1882. Are the electric chandeliers actually original?
These are original. We had electric lights 4 years before the White House in Washington, D.C. So we're heading into the imprisonment room. After Kalakaua died, his sister Liliuokalani became queen. Constitutional changes during her brother's reign had disenfranchised many Native Hawaiians and allowed non-citizens to vote. She wanted to introduce a new constitution. Not Hawaiians, but Americans and Europeans thought this wasn't in the best interests of the kingdom. So she was deposed, the monarchy ended. So this is the quilt Liliuokalani began when she was imprisoned here by the Republic of Hawaii government. Initially, she was not allowed writing materials, so she began to speak to the future with thread and fabric about who she was and what had happened to her. Her song, The Queen's Prayer, which you hear frequently at churches all over the islands, was written here. She also created a trust that helps children who have lost parents or who are living in extreme poverty. She is still caring for her community big time. It's really critically important that we Malama or take care of the stories in an accurate, respectful manner. We are caring for them in a way that will allow our grandchildren's grandchildren to enjoy them and to see them and to share them.
Now I'm off to the island of Hawaii to experience contemporary island culture there. This is Michael. He's the beekeeper here at the Fairmont Orchid. Like so many of the people I've met on these islands, he's completely self-taught. The Fairmont brought him in to manage their beehives. He explains to me why the honey here is so uniquely reflective of this place.
What's really nice about the Fairmont Orchid, it's adjacent to this forest of kiawe trees. It produces this yellow flower that's making this honey. And it's a very rare, very unique honey, unlike really any honey in the world. You could take this one home.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Why is it important for the hotel to keep these bees on property?
If you look at a plate of food, 3 out of 4 of those items are dependent upon bees. So the chef has his own garden here, and so you have to have pollinators. The European honeybee is one of the best pollinators in the world. So they're critical for our food security on the planet.
As a guest, how can I get involved if I want to be a part of what's going on with the bees?
Once a week, the Fairmont Orchid does an Aloha Aina tour, where we'll get people suited up and they'll bring you by the bees and talk about why they're important.
Sounds good, let's go.
We're gonna use a little smoke on the bees, so if they smell smoke, they think a fire's coming, and they stop everything they're doing and they start eating as much honey as possible and getting ready to leave. And then while they're preoccupied, we're gonna pull out frames of honey. Look how clear that honey is.
Right.
That is beautiful, pure kiawe honey. With this tea leaf, we'll brush the bees off and we'll put them in a box so that we can take it back and extract them. This is probably about 60 pounds of kiawe honey.
Thank you for showing me your bees.
No problem.
They're gorgeous.
They're my favorite employees. I don't complain that much.
The Fairmont Orchid, along with the Royal Hawaiian and dozens of other hotels statewide, is participating in the Malama program, which means that you get a free night's stay when you participate in one of their Malama initiatives. This is the chef at the Fairmont Orchid. As he's leading me through the chef's vegetable garden, I'm struck by the idea of stewardship of the land. The idea that you don't own it. You care for it for a short time and then you pass it along. Are you out in this garden almost every day or every day?
As much as I can. Like, what's better than being outside here in Hawaii in my garden? I think, the greatest inspiration a chef can have is he goes to a garden, he goes to a market, and he sees a beautiful product, and then it really inspires the dish. We even do tours of the garden, so we'll kind of bring our guests through here just to kind of talk about the different, vegetation that we have here and how it translates to our food. In Hawaii, you really hear about the Aina, the land. We're so detached from the rest of the world that we need to make sure that it's as beautiful as we found it. I want to tell that story. I think I'm not only a chef, but I'm a storyteller, and I want to be able to have that significance of the product that we've picked here and how I brought it to the plate for our diners. It shows our sustainability. At the end of the day, there's nothing as far as quality that's going to get better than this, where I that day pick the fruit, pick the vegetable, cut the herbs, put it into a dish, and then serve it to my guests. I think, bar none, it's an experience that you're not going to get anywhere else in the world.
The landscape shapes the storytelling here. Every piece of the landscape has a story behind it, and everyone here is a keeper of those stories. You come to understand that all of these stories are rooted in a belief that the land will take care of the people, as long as the people take care of the land.